All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Man, what a great fight card this evening as Gervonta Davis gets a controversial win over Lamont Roach as he defended his WBA World Championship. A lot of people are calling it robbery. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. This is why you have to have the actual fight. What a great fight night on the PBC. Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. You had Gary Antoine Russell, who fought Rayo Valenzuela. A bunch of good fights on the card. But for Gervonta Davis fans, not the best night in the world, as Gervonta Davis gets a draw against Lamont Roach in a fight that a lot of people thought Lamont Roach won. Now, before I get into it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you guys so much for your continued support. It really means a lot to the channel. But yeah, man, that fight could have went either way, man. Really. Gervonta Davis fought Lamont Roach in a nip and tuck fight where it looked like Lamont Roach most definitely did much better than most people thought. There were some controversial moments in the fight where Gervonta Davis took a knee in the middle of the round because he got hit by some grease or something in his hair. A braid in his hair hit his eye. So there's controversy about that, whether that round should have been considered to be a 10-8 round. And if that had been a 10-8 round, then guess what? Lamont Roach would have won that fight. So I don't have a problem with people that say Lamont Roach won that fight. I really don't. I didn't keep the score in the score of the fight, but it seemed like Lamont Roach won, I think, the second half of the fight. I think that's fair to say, and he deserves all the credit in the world. And I certainly hope that there's a rematch. I don't know if there's going to be a rematch. I doubt very much that there's going to be a rematch in that fight. And the reason I doubt that there's going to be a rematch is probably going to be because it's such a tough match for Gervonta. And it was clearly a stylistic matchup that caused a lot of problems for him with Lamont Roach, and the fact that Lamont Roach is very, very familiar with him. And sometimes you just have those fights. You just have fighters that match up with other fighters, and it's just going to be a barn burner every single time. And I think that that's probably going to be the case anytime Lamont Roach fights Gervonta Davis. His defense is just very, very tight. He's obviously got a very solid chin. He timed Gervonta Davis counter-timed Gervonta Davis very well, took his shot, threw a shot with him. Just all around, man, just put on a really good performance, man. And I think that Lamont Roach deserves a lot more respect than Lamont Roach was given going into this fight. So as far as Gervonta Davis goes, though, I got to tell you, man, he looked disoriented in the fight. He didn't look like he was focused. He was arguing. You could clearly see that he had, there was a bunch of talk going on between him and people outside the ring. It just was a really scattered performance by Gervonta altogether. Just a scattered, very, very scattered performance. But Lamont Roach performed, hey, man, in a way that I think people are going to give this guy a lot of credit. What's going to happen for the next fight for Gervonta Davis? Man, I don't know, but I have a suspicion it's not going to be Lamont Roach. Just to tell you, when Gervonta Davis was saying, yeah, hopefully we can do it back. If we don't, hey, man, good luck to him. Whatever, we move on, That was a fight that Gervonta Davis didn't have to take against a world champion that wasn't getting a lot of credit, but I want to see the rematch, without a doubt. And, of course, there's going to be a lot of critics for Gervonta Davis and say Gervonta Davis isn't this, Gervonta Davis isn't that. But please remember that the people that were saying this said that they didn't want to see the Lamont Roach fight at all. It wouldn't be a good fight. It wouldn't be an entertaining fight. It's a waste of time. Gervonta Davis is cherry-picking somebody else. Well, you can call it a cherry pick going wrong if you want, but I don't really think it is. I think that's just a very, very tough fighter. And when you fight people that are familiar with you, you have you can have difficult fights. You can also just have an off night when somebody else has a very good night. But yeah, not the best fight, and definitely not the best fight for Gervonta Davis. And if somebody was to say that he lost, I wouldn't argue with you at all. Again, I didn't keep the score. I don't really like keeping scores in the fight. I was calling the fight with Phoenix the Assassin. Shout out to Phoenix the Assassin. Shout out to Ox Steel who called the fight with me. But there's going to be a lot of bashing of Gervonta Davis going on for the next good amount of time. And, we'll see how his fan base holds up, because fan bases are very, very fickle. If you have a bad performance, hey, man, they might check out on you. But it didn't happen with Canelo Alvarez, who's had bad performances and actually lost fights, didn't get a draw. So I think we'll be fine with Gervonta Davis moving forward. I do think, though, that you'll probably see Gervonta Davis in his next couple fights or whatever. He's probably going to fight somebody that's more of a style of a fighter other than Lamont Roach. I just think Lamont Roach is a tough matchup for him. And I think Lamont Roach is going to be a tough matchup for him if he fights him again. So I feel bad for Lamont Roach because he really did put on, a really terrific show. I'll have to go back and watch the fight again and score it and see maybe if there were some times I gave Lamont Roach some rounds where maybe I was just kind of giving a little bit extra Lamont because he was, because of how well he's performed. But, look, man, I'll take the draw. I think that is a pretty fair scorecard. If somebody wanted to have Lamont Roach up by a round, if you even wanted to have Lamont Roach up by 2 rounds, I really wouldn't argue with you. But I'll tell you about the best fight of the night, though, or an excellent fight of the night. Congratulations to Gary Antoine Russell, who beat Rayo Valenzuela to win the 140-pound WBA title. He had lost the first attempt that he'd had against Alberto Puello. So now he's a champion. And I think that you might get a unification fight between Gary Antoine Russell and Alberto Puello. So that will be a really good match, man. But again, man, look, people are going to say Gervonta Davis lost the fight, that he was garbage, that he was a cherry pick gone wrong, all of those type of things. Very, very well could have been. Could have had something. People may say, hey, man, that's what you get when you train. You put too many trainers in your too many a new trainer in your corner. Maybe it just took a little bit of time to adjust because it seemed like they had a lot of voices in that corner. But again, all around, not a good performance for Gervonta. I give Gervonta a D for that particular fight. But you move on, you go on, and you'll see what happens. The fight itself, though, was very, very exciting. It absolutely was. Lamont Roach forced Gervonta Davis to open up a lot more than Gervonta usually does, and he got countered because of it. And again, congratulations on a great showing for Lamont Roach, and we'll see what happens next. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.